hard to do due to that. I do not know why my Wi-Fi car
across
always
the state,
does
and
that,
hopefully
always
that'll give our
kicks
Department
me
of
out.
Transportation the
And I
opportunity
always
to
gotta
clear some of the
stop right.
roads. But what we're going to see on the back end of this is low teens in high single digits all the way through tomorrow and tomorrow evening and possibly into Thursday. So the hard part is going to start as we get 5 or 6 this afternoon, and the snow winds up being out there, and now the bitter cold will just will make it very difficult to be outside.
Shock, I was just on the phone with Chief Hans Gantier of the NOPD, and he didn't know the answer to this question, but I guess it is safe to assume that the interstate will remain closed tomorrow.
I think that anywhere elevated on the interstate is going to remain closed. So what you're going to see is the issues that we're having with the bridges, and the fact that the snow will not melt is the main issue that we have. Now, we do have quite a bit of assets we've got from Arkansas that are snow plows, brine trucks, salt trucks, and that will help us get through the process. But I think what you see on the interstates is what you're going to see tomorrow well into the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, when you consider how many miles of interstate roadway that we actually have in the state, it's hard to have an expectation, or unreasonable, I guess, to have an expectation that we'll be able to clear these roads within the next 24 hours, right?
Yes, sir. And then the challenge we have in the southern area is the low-lying bridges that are over the water sources. It's a little different in North Louisiana in that there's not as many of the interstate bridges or the state road bridges that go low-lying over water. That's the challenge we have here in Louisiana with the water source being so close to the bridge, it's going to freeze. So the state police and Department of Transportation are out there doing the best they can. Just the rates are falling so much, and then the bitter cold is going to make it extremely difficult tomorrow.
The deployment of both the snow plows and the salt spreaders, the priority for you guys is going to be what?
Well, the first priority that we're going to try to do is from a state standpoint, is keep those major tributaries open, and that's primarily state roads. So the state roads obviously are going to have the biggest aspect of it, and the whole desire is to keep them available for first responders to get to people, for 911 calls, for possible fires, for law enforcement related aspects. So those state roads become the biggest priority, and then as we can catch up with those, the major tributaries that would not be state roads where we can lend assistance to the parishes come next. But you're going to see a lot of activity on all of those state roads, 190, Highway 90, all the elements that go east and west and north to south that are not interstate, and the interstates are also clearly a priority.
When the interstate highway west of Baton Rouge, is that open or is it closed?
It's closed, and what I will tell everyone, if you want to get a good view of what all the winter aspects are, you can go to virtual.la.gov, virtual.la.gov, and you have all of it's a one-stop shop of all the road closures. It's got all of the power outages. It's got school closings, emergency declarations, or you can go to the Get a Game Plan app, which are GOSEP's apps for information on all the winter weather. But it is closed, yes.
And again, that's going to be the challenge tomorrow. So pretty much, let me rephrase the question. So the entirety of the I-10 in the state is closed at the present time?
Well, looking at it right now, I'm looking at it from the standpoint, I-10, when you're talking about coming from west to east, the loop in southern Lake Charles is closed, and then all the way from Lake Charles to Lafayette
Hey,
is
quit
open
throwing.
but very, very slow, and then once you get from Lafayette to Baton Rouge is closed, and then I-12 is closed from Baton
And now
Rouge
you're like a good
all
friend,
the
but
way
goddamn,
to
quit
almost to
throwing.
Hammond, and then I-10 is closed from Baton Rouge just to right around Prairieville. And then when you get into New Orleans, I-10 in through LaPlace, all the way in to New Orleans East, and then through Slidell is all closed.
So going into tomorrow, I mean, almost everyone without exception says that they really believe tomorrow is going to be the biggest challenge. What do you think is you know, the most critical thing for you guys?
Well, the first aspect, obviously, is we don't want anyone on the roads because the risk of life to your life and to your safety is when you get on the roads. What concerns me the most is as we begin to have this bitter cold, to have a freeze set over of snow that may be in the trees, and then now that begins to create weight on the trees that would fall on the power lines, and to have power outages. Of course, we want everyone off the road, and we've been pretty fortunate with that messaging and the public listening so far, but we're very much concerned about this bitter cold and the freeze on the roads with black ice, and then also the aspect of the power lines starting to fail because of these trees falling on the power lines.
And again, the best advice to everyone is stay home. Pretty much everything is going to be closed tomorrow. I understand we have challenges at the respective airports throughout the state of Louisiana as well. So unless it's critically necessary, don't get out on the highway.
Absolutely. If you get on the road and you put yourself in a circumstance that the local sheriff's department or police department or EMS or fire department may not be able to get to you. There's so much snow falling right now, so do not put yourself at risk, and please show respect to the first responders that are out there fighting to save lives every minute of every hour.
If you would, talk to us a little bit about, I spoke to the governor earlier about these snow plows and salt spreaders that were given to us under the EMAC. If you would describe that process for our listening audience and why that's critical to your mission.
Absolutely. It's called the Emergency Management Assistance Compact, and what it is, it's an agreement between the states to provide emergency management personnel and equipment and resources to other states in time of need. We knew early on that we did not have the expertise in the southern part of the state, nor the equipment to battle the snow that we were going to fight. So 6 days ago, we requested an EMAC mission through GOSEP to the Arkansas Division of Emergency Management. And what it is, it's 46 snow vehicles, whether it be snow plows, and the snow plows, there's I think roughly a dozen snow plows that can move 12 inches of snow at a time. It is of the 45, 46 vehicles that we have, it comes with the personnel that have the expertise to do this, and they work in conjunction with the DOTD traffic plan. And their goal is to work with DOTD and give us some subject matter expertise to clear these roads and to make it safer throughout the entire process.
The governor described a conversation that he had with the governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders from Arkansas, about do's and don'ts.
Oh, man. No, that did not do it. Monitor. Okay. No. No. Oh, it's working?
Use a brine, which is a saltwater mix, and what that does is once the snow melts it washes off. The salt in the water, it de-ices, it melts the ice, and
Yeah,
it
I don't
will,
think it's
in
got a
effect,
calcium,
wash
which
itself
is
off.
stupid.
And they do not use rock salt. They use, or any kind of salt, they use this brine, and they gave us some tips on how to apply these on a statewide
Maybe
scale.
my,
Isn't that
main
interesting? After all these years, they got these little anecdotal remedies to these problems,
I'm gonna
right?
check on something.
Absolutely it is. And one of the things that I thought was interesting is
Yeah,
we come
I'm
together
gonna fix that.
twice a year as a region in FEMA Region 6, and one of the things that none of them had in any of their emergency plans is an
Shit,
that a state
that's
would
not
not
gonna
have
work.
an evacuation plan. And so everybody's kind of got their nuances where they're good, which
Yeah,
is
I don't
why
think it's
these
gonna work.
emails are
I
so
am beyond
important.
control.
I had no clue. To be honest with you, I've never seen a
Because if I
snowplow
set this
in
thing up to
operation
max,
as an emergency manager. So that gave us some level of expertise going governor to governor in something that we couldn't have done.
yeah, I'm
And they
afraid
don't
that's
even know
gonna be
how
the
to
best I
evacuate
can
for a
do.
hurricane, 'cause
I'm
they never
sorry.
see that in Arkansas. So
Check.
we all just kind of take care of
Check.
each other and share our trade
Check.
secrets.
And this brine solution is delivered how? I mean, you
Okay.
mix it yourself,
Okay, it's better now?
obviously.
All right.
But is there a special
All right, we're good.
vehicle or a special
Yeah, I think
way
my
of distributing
main
that material?
controllers.
Yeah, so basically what happens
There's
is
supposed to be a way
the
to
snowplow
stop
trucks actually have a snowplow on the front, and in the back is a tanker that has the brine, so it does two things at one time. It plows the snow off, and then it sprays the brine solution
Check.
as you clear
Is
the
it-
road to keep
Yeah,
the
I'm
ice
checking the
from
volume
settling.
control on the
So
microphone
you're
device.
removing the snow, and you're melting the ice, and you're making the road safer.
Might wanna lower
It's
it
just the fall
about
rate
right
that we're
here.
getting is making it difficult to keep up.
The object is trying to get.
So we just got word. We're speaking with Jacques Thibodeau, Director of Governor's Office of Homeland Security and the Emergency Preparedness. Jacques, Dave Cohen, WWL News Director, joins us. Dave?
Yeah, the NOLA
How about
Ready for
now?
the City of New Orleans has just alerted us that despite their best efforts, they can no longer keep the Crescent City Connection Bridge open. They had been keeping one lane open in each direction with the exits and entrances immediately on either side of the Mississippi River available, but they've just notified us that they can no longer do that.
All right.
They've lost that battle,
All
and
right,
so now
so
the Crescent City Connection
all
across the
looking
Mississippi
good?
River is closed in both directions.
Yeah,
This is
on the
emblematic,
mixer,
Jacques,
I
of
got
what
the
you were just
microphone
talking about.
at negative
Conditions are
10,
changing quick, right?
And the audio at negative
Yeah,
5.
absolutely. Yes, sir. To both of y'all. So, when you look at the
And the main audio
virtual.la.gov and you
and
go to
the
the
main settings
511,
on their
you can see
system.
now the Crescent City
I
Connection
got
is
that
closed,
set to 80.
the Huey P. Long is closed, and the Luling Bridge is closed. And so the only bridges that are open right now is the Gramercy Bridge, degraded down to one lane,
Castle
and
B, what's
then
up?
the Sunshine Bridge. So getting from the East Bank to the West Bank, particularly in New Orleans, is very difficult right now.
Clearly, there are no ferries running either.
Oh, no, sir, not at this time, and there won't be, no, sir.
I can't remember in recent
Still-
history, this to both Jacques and Dave, that the southeastern
want me
part
to lower it
of the
down a
state
little
was
bit
totally
more?
isolated, East Bank
I'll
from West
lower
Bank.
it down.
No, I mean, we go back a
What
ways
about
on
like
this
an
now,
8?
right? When we think about it, I don't remember this at all. One of the things that we saw when this moved
Or I
in
can match it,
last
make it
night
like a
at 3 o'clock
10.
in the morning, it moved in earlier than we thought. And then the interstate just became overwhelmed. And then we knew that we would get less precipitation and condensation in the west, but we were extremely worried about what would happen from Baton Rouge to the east. I think it's just
Yeah, so
unprecedented.
now
I do
both
not
of
remember in my entire time
desktop
living in southeast
and
Louisiana
mic should be
when
at
New
negative
Orleans
10
has been
on the
isolated right down the
streamer.
middle.
Dave?
No, yeah, I'm trying to think back to the last major ice storm. I know the connection closed during that ice storm because it was close to 100 vehicles
Yes, I'm
crashed
curious
on
if
the
you ever was
Pontchartrain
a miler
Expressway,
on
and there was just no way to get
Joseph's
anyone
channel.
through, and the entrances and exits were all iced
That's
over.
right.
But I don't remember when every bridge and every means of crossing the river had been eliminated, and we're running out of ways to get from the North Shore to the South
so
Shore
that
too, as
shit
well.
works. Okay,
And Jacques, correct me if I'm wrong. Last time I looked, the Highway 11 was still technically open, and the low road on US 51. But if you check the cameras on 511la.org, no one has driven 51. There's no tire tracks in it. It's complete and good 5-6 inches of snow on that. So if you got to get from one side of the lake to the other right now, that's extremely difficult. You would think go to Baton Rouge and do that, but as you delineated a short time ago, I-12 is closed between Hammond and Baton Rouge. So there's very few real options for crossing the major bodies of water that surround us here.
Absolutely, and that's what's compounding
Don't worry,
and
everybody. New
exacerbating
software,
the situation.
new
Just
software.
the
Sometimes new
low-lying
software
roads
has
that
its
are there,
quirks.
you cannot move. The snow is just coming through. The good news is we think that when we get this break, it's going to be a break on the snow, and we will be able to catch up with about 3 hours from about anywhere from 3 to 5 for about 3 hours when it opens, but then it's going to get bitterly cold.
Okay, how
Again,
about now?
everyone, please just got to
Because
stay
I'm
off
almost
the road,
clipping.
and you're pretty much isolated. If you're on one side of the river or one side of the lake, you're going to have to stay there at least through to tomorrow.
Jacques, final thoughts?
Well, just, everyone be safe, stay off the roads, and I appreciate y'all getting the message out to everyone. You make it a lot easier for us to be able to call in and get that word out, and we appreciate the partnership with all media outlets.
Well, thank you, sir. Anytime you need to get some information out, please know that we stand ready to do so, Dave.
And we know we'll hear from Jacques and from the governor coming up around 3 o'clock. They've called a news conference, and we'll be carrying that live, Jacques, here on WWL.
Looks like I might have to go full heat
Director of Governor's
on the
Office
microphone.
of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, GOSEP. We really appreciate your time, your insights. Stay safe, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we'll be right back. 504-260-1870 on the Oakland Archulus Talk and Text line as we provide continuing coverage of this winter storm. I think it's going to set some records. I think that might be a better bet than Secretariat at this point.
Yeah, and we were definitely in the 1895 discussion right now in terms of snowfall and impacts, and and obviously no one who.
I mean, I still got that.
Then, so this is definitely.
I still got that karaoke mic.
In 1895, really?
Yeah, I can tell you, I was around then.
Oh, okay.
I had more hair, but I.
On that note.
Yes. We'll be right back, folks. Stay with us.
WWL, home of your Saints and LSU. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
I might have to do something about it first because I can hear the feedback.
Listen for the latest every hour and track the storm real time at WWL.com. Presented by Craig's Electrical and Generator Service. And remember, if you lose power, listen on your phone on the free Odyssey app. With you through it all, WWL.
NOLA! Pepsi NOLA Eats Fest is coming to Waldenburg Riverfront, Florida. On February 7th and 8th from 12 to 5 p.m., dive into mouth-watering eats from local gems. The one and only Big Timer himself,
Yeah, I used to have a
Manny Fresh,
lot
will grace
of
the stage.
when
And
I
of
did
course,
the
there will be
cable
enough
free
cold
now.
Pepsi for you and the whole crew to sip on all day.
So I don't think I won't be able to do anything about
it's
it.
free entry. This is the food fest you've been craving.
I'm Elsa Messenger, helping you beat the books with BetQL. Number 3, Iowa State returns home after suffering just their second loss of the season on Saturday. The
I don't
Cyclones
have
are
microphone
hosting Central
booths.
Florida in a Big 12 match. Iowa State is one of 2 teams in the top 10 in both offense and defensive efficiency, according to Ken Palm. The Cyclones are laying a big number tonight against the Knights. The BetQL model thinks they can cover. Their best bet is taking Iowa State at home over UCF. Bet smarter and beat the books with BetQL, and download the BetMGM app.
Still getting around to that
Maybe
fix on your
next
car?
time I'll
You
do
got this.
with
On eBay,
the
you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit.
with the gaming
Doesn't matter
mic.
if it's a major engine repair
I was
or
able
your
to get
first
at
time
the
swapping
thrift
your windshield
store.
wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes
Because
big and
this
small.
doesn't have like a
Loud
boost
or quiet.
function.
Find all the parts you need
If
at
it had
prices
that
you'll love.
boost function,
Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Wealth-changing question. Is your investment portfolio really customized?
You should be able
Some
to hear
advisors
me. I
say they
can hear
customize them,
myself.
but all they really do is ask you a few questions, then put all your money in a model portfolio.
I
Here
don't
at
know why
Creative
you
Planning,
can't
each
hear
of our
me.
private wealth management clients'
It's gotta
portfolios
be.
is unique.
It's gotta be
Your
your
investment
end,
mix will be
baby.
based on your custom financial plan. If that's not how your money's managed, you're
That's-
not
I
getting
think
the
that's your
customization
end.
you deserve. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
My name is Hugh Lambert, nicknamed Skip. Our firm, Lambert Zaney, focuses on the maritime world. However, we also handle other serious personal injury claims involving boats, planes, trains, trucks, and aircraft. We have an engineering background to analyze what failed and why. The right to recover when injured
See, I can
requires
hear
an analysis
myself
of
on
legal and
the
factual
on the
issues.
app,
We're
so
experienced
it's
at
got
doing
to be
just
your
that to
end.
maximize our clients' recovery. Please Google us at Lambert, Zaney, Smith & Soso.
Because if
or
I can hear myself pretty
lambertzaney.com.
darn
Be
good
safe
on
out
my
there.
end, it's got to be your end that's doing
We all
it.
hear the radio ads about the
It's gotta be
IRS.
something that
They
you're
tell you to be
doing.
afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different.
Listen, I
TRA
am
is here
beyond
to tell you
control
that if you owe money to the
because
IRS,
it doesn't have a
whether it's
boost
5,000,
function. I don't have a
50,000, or
boost function.
500,000, we have a solution. It
It's
doesn't
never
matter if you're
provided
sitting
with
in
a
your
boost
car, at
function.
work, or with your
If it
kids.
would
No
have
matter where
provided
you
with
are,
a boost
call
function,
now.
then
800
I would have done
575
something about it, but no, there's
6481.
still boost.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to
So
be
I'm telling
afraid of
you
the
right
IRS
now,
any
and
longer.
I can't
End
do
your tax
anything about
nightmares
it. I'm
today
sorry.
by visiting
I
us
can't.
online at TRA.com
It's not
or
gonna
call
let me do it.
800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you have unfiled taxes or
Yeah,
are
I'm
in
still
debt to the
on the,
IRS, this is important news.
SDR.
Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs
Is the
that can
radio
save you
still
thousands
loud?
if you
'Cause I
qualify.
can't keep this.
No
I
one
can't
knows these
take-
programs
I
better
can't
than the
keep
experts
going
at Optima
lower
Tax
because
Relief,
of you.
America's most trusted
If
tax
anybody else can
resolution
hear
firm.
me-
A-rated by the Better
Yeah.
Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax
Okay,
debt
this
for
has
their
got to be
clients.
it.
One
This has
call
got
to
to be
Optima
it.
can
If
start
it's
the
not it,
process,
it's going to have
helping
to
to
be
end
it.
your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions.
Because right
Make
now
sure
I'm
you're
like
getting the
negative
best options to
21.
solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-906-1788. 800-906-1788. 800-906-1788.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I had the worst dream last night. We were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
Oh, it's awful,
Why?
huh?
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit GetEthos.com. That's GetEthos.com.
Sample rate is a
I
10-year
wish there's a
term
way
policy
to
for 35-year-old
split
healthy
that.
non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
It's the Prism Live.
Back to
And I
continuing
think
coverage
this
of
is
the
something
Winter
that
Storm
Prism
on
needs to
WWL,
fix.
AMFM.com, and the free Odyssey
I think
app.
this is
With
something
the latest,
Prism
here's
needs to
Team
fix.
WWL.
This is really strange.
How about now?
So, you will recall about 45 minutes ago, Kate Coleman and I were talking, we could not see the Four Seasons good. That's how hard it was snowing. Then, about 10 minutes ago, we could see, we were able to see the outline of the
How about now?
So we go up there just now for the first break, we come back, and in that short
Yeah.
period of time, we have difficulty seeing the Four Seasons.
Should I don't have that function enabled on the monitoring. I wonder why is it doing it.
And I can always count on my listening audience to educate me.
Oh, it's better now?
All the time. And
Okay. Now let me put this back up to about 10.
GRADPEM. It's soft, small
Right,
pellets
what I
filled
did
with
here.
supercooled water
Okay.
droplets at a temperature below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Freeze onto a snow crystal. A process called, I guess it's rimming, RIMING.
Oh, down the radio
And
audio
this,
is down the mud. Okay.
Process is particularly intense. The snow crystals can grow to an appreciable size but stay less than 0.2 of an inch. They're small, and the snowfall can get intense with this type of snow. So we were just looking out of the window, looking at it, and all of a sudden the snowflakes changed, and we start seeing actual flakes.
Maybe increasing on the SDR side.
And it's
I think that was
amazing,
the
just in
problem.
the 4 hours that I've been on air for the time that I arrived and went on air, how the conditions have changed from, light snow to absolutely intense snow, back to light snow, back to intense snow, and then the snow itself changing in its character. It's one thing to have snow here in the city of New Orleans to begin with, right? But to go through this process of this change in what we're seeing, and I'm getting pictures from Grand Isle and Des Allemands and Prairieville and friends from throughout southeast Louisiana, pictures of folks actually building snowmen and things of that nature. It's just really, really interesting. As we continue to provide this coverage, Scoot will be on here shortly for the next 4 hours.
You know what I find interesting, Newell?
Yeah.
From what I hear of people up north, and I lived in Alaska for a short period of time, they tell me, I'm not sure if it's true, that no snowflake is identical.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, but when you look outside and see how many individual snowflakes that they are, it's sort of like a bewilderment to believe that none of them are alike.
Yeah. And what's also interesting is it's been going sideways all morning long, right? And it's still not stopped yet. The wind is still pretty intense, and a number of our folks went down to the Caesars Casino to get a lucky dog
and lose some money.
And lose some money. They said that was the worst part about it.
Okay,
Was the
Mike,
wind.
good.
Not
Radio
so much
good?
the snow, but the wind, and it continues to be a challenge. And
All right.
again. NOLA Ready put out an alert that a number of accidents are occurring. Folks don't really know how to drive in this type of weather unless you absolutely have to be somewhere, go somewhere, stay home. Conditions are starting to get worse. They're going to get even more so, more dangerous conditions overnight, as this allegedly is going to stop at some point between, according to Jacques Thibodeau, the Director of Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, GOSEP, at some point between 3 and 5 is what they're saying. Others have said it may extend to 6 or 7, but we shall see. All right, when we come back, we'll check in with Scoot, who's headed your way. So
sometimes you don't have to write them down, but it will be a good reference to remember.
WWL.
Yeah, that's arrangeable. That's arrangeable. I might do that afterwards.
Get the WWL shows you love delivered to your phone free. Download the Odyssey app and follow your favorites. Tommy Tucker, Newell Norman, Scoot. Listen when you want, how you want. Or tell your smart speaker, play WWL. Keep it locked on WWL for breaking sports news. Powered by BetQL. Smarter bets start with BetQL. Download the BetQL app or visit BetQL.com today.
All right.
WWL is proudly sponsored by Dudley DeBosier Injury Lawyers. Call 444-4444.
Non-attorney spokesperson, Chad Dudley, New Orleans.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-906-1788. 800-906-1788. 800-906-1788.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Make Boomtown New Orleans your game day headquarters this season. Watch all the games on their giant screen TVs. Tackle the area's best game day food and beverages with all your friends. Get in on all the hockey and football action this winter with PenPlay and ESPN Bet. Boomtown's online sportsbook, now live in Louisiana. Score big this season at Boomtown New Orleans, however you want to play. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Tired of being just a number with your financial institution? At Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union, we're local and you are our priority. You'll enjoy lower fees, better rates, and personalized service that makes a real difference in your life. Our cutting-edge technology lets you bank anywhere, anytime, right from your fingertips, with easy-to-use online applications and local personalized service. Open an account at jeffersonfinancial.org. Partner with a credit union that cares about you. Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union. Your dreams, our priority. Federally insured by NCUA.
Control and maintain your weight at Rejuvame. RejuvameMedical.com.
It's continuing coverage of the winter storm on WWL, Louisiana's official emergency management station. With the latest, here's Team WWL.
So folks are asking, so what are the 7 types of snowfall? Well, they include snow flurries, light, intermittent snowfall with minimal accumulation, snow showers, snow squalls, blowing snow. That's interesting. Blizzard, lake effect snow, and what I just talked about, graupel. We are joined by Scoot, who's headed in here next for continuing coverage of this winter storm.
It's cold in here.
It's as cold in this studio.
Let me tell you, if the sprinkler system goes off, we're going to have snow in the studio.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, we got this little thing here that's helped out a little bit.
I see that. Wow.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Well, in Denver, not here in New Orleans. No, I have a vague memory of the snow of 1963. And when I say vague, I mean vague. So, I wasn't here when it snowed in 2008. In fact, ironically, my son and his wife at the time were traveling from Portland to New Orleans to visit his mom. And they were flying through Denver. They got stuck in Denver and had to spend time with us, so I thought that was really kind of cool. But anyway, I've never seen anything like this in New Orleans. I was just in the snow in Portland a couple of days ago. And, I mean, this is just so exciting. So, we'll talk about this afternoon.
I can refresh if I want.
I was
go back and forth
looking out of the window
and it's still not going to work.
Lost sight of the Four Seasons Hotel, and we just can now see it again for the first time in a little bit over an hour. Wow. Scoot's up next. Stay tuned.
Coverage of the winter storm on 870 AM WWL New Orleans, 105.3 WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, an Odyssey station.
Oh, there's a broken one again.
WWL First News. It's 2 o'clock. I'm Chris Miller. We've got hours more snow to go.
The National Weather Service said that some of those bands were dumping anywhere between 1 to 2 inches an hour. That's a lot of snowfall.
Indeed, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry is urging everyone to stay home today and tomorrow. WWL TV meteorologist Brooke Glazer tells us more about how the snow's going.
Happy snow day. The forecast for southeast Louisiana is historical on this January 21st. Snow accumulation on the ground, and it will be there for a while longer. We'll stay at or right below the freezing mark this afternoon on both sides of the lake, and wind chills will fall into the teens and 20s overnight tonight. A small window for melting tomorrow as temperatures only rise a couple degrees above freezing. Travel impacts are likely through Thursday.
And the Crescent City connection is now closed in both directions. Same for the I-310 Hale-Bound in St. Charles Parish. The Huey is closed too, and all ferries are out of service, so the closest available river crossing is the Gramercy Bridge.
Well,
Chuck Thibodeau with the Louisiana Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency
Sure.
Preparedness says residents should not be attempting to drive anyway.
If you're on one side of the river or one side of the lake, you're going to have to stay there at least through to tomorrow.
Snow is piling up on surface streets too. WWL's Ian Ozan reports from downtown New Orleans.
What started as a slow snowfall early this morning has turned into almost a blizzard in downtown New Orleans. Winds gusting more than 30 miles an hour, driving snow into the faces of the brave souls who are walking along the streets of the Central Business District and making visibility almost zero for the few drivers who are traversing Pointers and some of the other streets around here. The majority of the vehicles that we see on the roads are either New Orleans Police Department cars or Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office units, but there are a handful of civilians who are driving around and pressing their luck with the snowy and icy road conditions. In downtown New Orleans, Ian Ozan, WWL First News.
So rapid. Actually, that's the most dangerous thing you can do.
Uh-oh.
So rapid. Actually, that's the most dangerous thing you can do because the vent is on the water heater itself. So if you rapid, you're keeping all that carbon monoxide inside of it. But most outdoor tankless gas water heaters have a safety in them where if it drops down to below freezing, a heater element kicks on to keep your tubes from freezing.
CBS News Brief. 18 states are challenging President Trump's order banning the constitutional guarantee of birthright citizenship. Matthew Platkin is New Jersey's Democratic Attorney General.
The executive order would wreak havoc and chaos.
Former Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio, who was serving 22 years in prison for the Capitol attack, has been released. CBS's Jason Allen reports President Trump commuted Tarrio's sentence and pardoned 1,500 others.
We've gone through years of investigations and trials and prosecutions and sentencing, and now, in the span of a night, with a signature from President Trump, we are talking about many of these people now being released from prison.
New wildfires have broken out in Southern California as the winds pick up again. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass.
I signed an executive order to expedite debris removal, slash regulations, preventing swift rebuilding, and establishing a framework to secure additional regulatory relief and resources.
CBS News Brief. I'm Michael Wallace.
On Wall Street today, the Dow is up 453 points. The Nasdaq up 121. S&P 500 up 46. Oil down $1.79 at $76.09 a barrel.
WWL Sports is brought to you by People's Health. Due to the snow...
Alright, because I don't have long on that web receiver, I'm just going to go up ahead and get on out of here and stuff like that. So, thank you, Amy. And Amy, if I know you probably are heading back to work. Thank you for the technical fixes. I'm going to try to remember those. I'm actually going to keep them as is and stuff like that. So, what's also good about it is I probably can make a backup of those settings. So, just in case I had to reformat this computer, I can have it ready to go. So everybody, thank you all for watching and keep listening.